The European who lived a few centuries ago, who believed that washing caused physical and health damage, and that children who used water a lot would have fragile bodies. In those distant days, most Europeans would wash on 2 occasions, in preparation for marriage or in the event of illness. This is not a joke, but rather a fact that was published many years ago in the memoirs of the writer Sándor Márai, who was born at the beginning of the 20th century into a bourgeois family of Austro-Hungarian origins and published a book that chronicles the history of dirt in Europe, but also the history of dirt in his era, when he admits that the belief it was common in his wealthy family that washing too much was harmful to health, as the Europeans were smelly. Márai says in his book Confessions of a Bourgeoisie, the Europeans considered bathing to be blasphemy, and the envoy of Tsarist Russia described the King of France.
King Louis XIV of France smells dirtier than a wild animal.
The Russians themselves were described by the traveler Ahmed bin Fadlan as the filthiest of God's creation, as they did not cleanse themselves with urine or excrement. The Russian Tsar, Peter, used to urinate on the palace wall in the presence of people, in his translation of the book The Civilization of Muslims in Spain by the famous American scholar Joseph McCabe, in his talk about Isabella, Queen of Castile. Queen Isabella Bimwan, who killed Muslims in Andalusia, only bathed twice in her life, and she destroyed the Andalusian baths, and King Philip II of Spain prohibited bathing at all in his country. His daughter, Isabel II,
I swore not to change her underwear until the end of the siege of a city.
which lasted for 3 years, and she died because of that. This is about kings, let alone commoners. Paris was famous for French perfumes. The main reason for their invention was to eliminate the stench present in people's bodies. And this filth was the cause of the spread of diseases among them. And the plague disease was spreading among them, as it claimed half or a third of them from time to time. And the largest European cities were like Paris and London. For example, its population reaches 30 or 40,000 at the maximum estimates, while Islamic cities exceeded the million mark. The Native Americans used to put roses in their noses when they met European invaders because of their unbearable smell. The French historian Drybar says, "We Europeans owe it to the Arabs to obtain the means of luxury in our public life. The Muslims taught us how to keep our bodies clean. They were the opposite of the Europeans, who did not change their clothes until they became dirty and exuded unpleasant odors. We began to imitate them in taking off our clothes and washing them. Muslims wore clean, bright clothes, and some of them even decorated them with precious stones, such as emeralds, rubies, and coral.